and just exposed a secret I've been keeping from my wife for months. 3 months ago, my wife got officially diagnosed with autism at 29. She started crying with relief, like someone finally handed her the instruction manual to her own brain. But here's the thing nobody warns you about. Once she had a name for everything, she couldn't stop noticing it. Sensory triggers she used to power through suddenly felt 10 times louder. Social exhaustion hit harder. The awareness was healing her, but it was also overwhelming her. I'd find her crying in the bathroom after phone calls, having silent shutdowns on the couch after work. Every time I asked what she needed, she couldn't answer because she was still learning herself. The night after a really bad shutdown, my wife grabbed my hand and said something that changed everything. Promise me you won't start treating me like I'm broken, like I'm some problem you need to fix. I couldn't handle that from you, I promised. I looked her in the eyes and promised I wouldn't treat her differently. Then I spent the next 3 months breaking that promise in secret. It started at 2 a.m. one random night when I couldn't sleep, so I fell down a research rabbit hole. Autism forums, sensory accommodation guides, occupational therapy videos. My brain kept translating everything into video game logic because that's how I process information. In Minecraft, there are these characters called villagers. They get overwhelmed by too many options. They need routine and a calm environment, or they just wander around stressed. Reading about autism accommodations, I kept thinking, same energy. So I decided to try out new ways to help my wife. The first experiment was to reduce decision fatigue. Every morning, my wife would stare at her closet for 20 minutes, completely frozen. I remembered how I would organize my gear in Minecraft according to adventure. So while she was at work, I reorganized everything into outfit combinations with little day of week labels hidden inside the hangers. That night, my wife came home early and walked in on me holding her Tuesday blouse. "What are you doing?" she asked. My heart stopped. "Just organizing. Thought I'd help." She stared at me for a long moment. Weird, but okay. She walked away. I almost passed out from relief. The next experiment went worse. I read that consistent lighting helps regulate sensory systems, and I thought about how you keep monsters like zombies and skeletons away at night by putting up torches. So I installed smart bulbs programmed to shift warmer at night, except I set them too orange, and my wife walked into our bedroom looking horrified. "Why does it look like we're being slow roasted in here?" I blamed a sale at Home Depot and spent 4 days finding settings that didn't make her feel like a rotisserie chicken. But my wife started watching me differently after that. Then came the real problem. I read that open-ended questions overwhelm autistic brains during stress, and I remembered how in a lot of video games you always get specific responses to give characters, so the quest has a way to keep moving forward. So instead of asking her, "What do you need?" I started offering binary choices. Lights off or dimmed, talk or quiet time, stay or space. It worked beautifully until the night my wife came home overstimulated, and I launched into my options rapid fire. She stopped cold. "Why do you always do that now?" "The multiple choice thing?" My throat tightened. She continued, "It feels like you're treating me like a project." Her voice cracked on project. I froze because that's exactly what she'd begged me not to do. I mumbled something about a podcast I'd heard and changed the subject, but my wife started pulling away after that. Told me she felt like I was hiding something. I knew it was my fault, but I couldn't stop because the experiments were actually helping her. She was improving mentally, but I couldn't tell her that. She'd hyperfixate and everything would be over. Last Saturday, my wife's best friend came over for wine. I was in the kitchen making snacks when I noticed my wife got overwhelmed from a story her friend was telling. I thought about iron golems, these big protective creatures. They don't do anything except exist near villagers being steady and solid. That presence alone makes villagers feel safe. So I walked over, sat near my wife without touching her, and just existed. Didn't ask questions, didn't try to fix anything, just stayed calm and close. I watched my wife's breathing slow down. Her shoulders dropped. Then her best friend said, "Okay, what was that?" My wife looked confused. "What's what?" "That thing he just did. He walked over, sat down, and you immediately calmed down. He's been doing stuff like that all night." My wife turned to me. "What is she talking about?" My mouth went dry. Her friend kept going. "The way he offered you 2 drink options instead of asking what you wanted. The way he dimmed the lights before you even said anything. It's like he's got a whole system." My wife's face changed. "Have you been running experiments on me?" I could hear the hurt in her voice. The betrayal. Exactly what she'd asked me not to do. I put down the cheese board. "I know I promised not to treat you differently, but I couldn't watch you suffer and do nothing. So I researched and compared everything to how Minecraft villagers work. When something helped, I kept doing it. When it didn't, I stopped. I didn't want you to feel like a problem I was solving. I just wanted to help." The room went quiet. My wife stared at me. Then her friend burst out laughing. "That's the most extra and sweetest thing I've ever heard." My wife's face slowly shifted. She started laughing too. "You've been treating me like a Minecraft villager?" I shrugged. "A very loved Minecraft villager." My wife pulled me into a hug so tight I couldn't breathe, while her friend wheezed in the background repeating Iron Golem Protocol like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard.